Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Thanks for tuning in to today's new arrival. Talk about spectacular. As we walk around and look at this car, we will see some things that make it, first off, a very expensive build. We originally have the photo documentation of the restoration of this car, and then this car was taken from the restoration, which in itself was a $20,000 restoration, and then another $25,000 was spent on it, getting it to GT350R status, okay? And as we look at some of the things that are on here, you're gonna go, wow, that is one spectacular car. And I gotta tell you, if you can afford a car like this in this price range here, it's half price of what it would cost to build it. And not only that, it would take you 2 to 3 years to find somebody to finish this car up for it to be reasonable. Let's take a look around for a second. Anyway, I love the color. Guardsman blue. It's not a Wimbledon white car with blue stripes. It's a reverse finally for once. And I think it looks really, really cool. And as this car rolls down the road, it's a little more subtle. It's not in your face. Got the great Shelby packages on around for the side air scoops, the correct front air dam here. Love the hood. And these stripes right here are clear coated over so you can't even feel them. That paint is really, really nice. Matter of fact, the paint is so nice I like to show everybody this once in a while, that you can see the reflection. And you can read that. Look how beautifully clear that is. And that's when you're buying a car, that's what you should be able to do. You should be able to read exactly what it says. You should be able to read the guy's camera. You should be able to read his shirt. You should be able to read the leaves on the tree, what kind of tree it is, things like that. Anyway, I had to print something out on this car, and I apologize because there was so much done to it, I knew I would forget. So how about we start underneath the hood? I watched this engine get built, so the engine is fresh in the car. The whole car has roughly this fresh rebuild of this drivetrain here, about 300 miles on it. This is cool. It starts life as a 302, so the 289 evolved into the 302 once it was bored a little bit. And then this one here, taken to the next level. We're talking about aluminum heads on here, Paxton supercharger, just like they would have done back then. And what's nice about this too is they kept the carburetor. The carburetor is encapsulated in here just like the GT350R was. And it blows into there and it makes a nice 425 horsepower. This has been upgraded to a 5-speed heavy-duty transmission. It's got a Ford 9-inch rear in the back of it with posi-traction. So all the goody go-fast parts are in here, but the heavy-duty parts are in there to back each one of these items up. So you could take this car to the track. You could just take this car for a drive if you wanted, but you do whatever you want to do. It does have 4-wheel disc brakes, aluminized exhaust all the way down through the back. And one of the things that I love so much too is it also has a full suspension underneath here. It has what's called a grab-a-track suspension, so it has a different lower and control arms. It has sway bars in there and coil springs and things like that, and it really handles well. But not only does it handle well, it rides well. Once you take a peek down here, this looks great with the big brakes hanging inside here, capped off the wheels just like they're supposed to with the gray centers. And if you could, I'd love you to come see the quality of this paint down the side of it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got the flares on the back like it's supposed to, so that you can stuff some more tire in there if you wanted. You know, just to do body and paint on a car like this is probably in the $12,000 range. Add the suspension for a few $1,000s, add the drivetrain. The engine alone was $10,000. The transmission was a few thousand. The rear end was another few thousand. I mean, you can see how quickly these things can escalate. Let's take a peek inside and we'll show you another $10,000 that was spent on this car. Okay, so we talked about the drivetrain. We talked about the full suspension that's underneath that we really can't see, that we'll go ahead and shoot you some video of that, try to get that in there. Now let's move inside. So Procar seats. These seats right here are designed to take this car and you around a road course if you wanted to. The support in here is awesome. It comes with lap belts here. Okay. It also comes with a roll bar here so that we can put shoulder belts, which are in a box in the back seat, in if you want us to. I love the spare tire mounted there. Rear seat delete. But this car makes a great sound, but it's not ridiculously loud like a full blown out race car. What we do for some people, and you need to ask about this, is we put electric cutouts. And electric cutouts work like this. They give you that great rumble if you want to take your wife out for a drive or just want to cruise quietly in town. You hit an electric switch, okay? And it turns it to wide open exhaust, and it sounds awesome. And it's spewing out the side of the car here, and it just really sounds great. But in case you decide not to go with those open or whatever, it comes with a very high-end sound system. Speakers are buried back here, underneath here. It's got amps, subwoofer, stuff like that. This car is showing 350 miles since it was redone. It's got the 8 grand Shelby Trak here, the oil pressure gauge there, 140 mile an hour speedometer, the Moto Lita steering wheel, pedal dress up, new carpet, door panels, headliner, visors, mirror, chrome trim, on and on and on. Just a great, great cockpit. And what's cool about it is when you sit in this car, it's just got that feeling of being a nice small car. Even though it's not a small car, I'm 6'1", I got plenty of room in here. But it's a small car that you can toss around. You can take it to the track, you can drive it hard, you can roll on down the road. It just makes for an easy to drive car. This has an upgraded 5-speed, is what we talked about, because on the highway, that 5th gear is really nice. Calms the motor down to somewhere around the 2,000 RPM mark, and it can loaf all day at that. Love this. Shelby American decal. Seatbelts I told you about. Stripes wrap all the way around like they're supposed to. Just great stuff. And you know what else too? Check this out. I love the finish of this car here. I love the exhaust. I love the way the stripes go down on here. Got the tag frame on it. GT350 call out. GT350 gas tank. Anyway, one thing I wanted to show you inside here is check this out. This is such a cool look on these cars here with the spare tire in there, showing the roll cage and things like that. And when you go to a vintage event at the track, like this car here is legendary. So forget you want to go to a vintage event. Say you want to just go to the track. You show up in this track here and there's Porsches there, Ferraris, Jaguars, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Guarantee you, everybody's flocked around this because these cars are still legendary. You know, as we close up the video on this car here, this is one of the greatest cars we've ever had. I know we get a lot of great cars through here, and we really do. But this car here really is, I don't know, man, these things are cool, they're legendary. They actually raced these things, which was pretty awesome that you could take an American car out and do some great stuff. So how about I stop talking about it, check the pictures out, check the list of great features on this car, and I gotta tell you something, and I mean this when I say it, if you can afford this car, you need to buy it, because you could never build this car for anywhere close what you'd have to pay for it. The price includes free enclosed door-to-door shipping. The car is fully restored, it's got receipts, it's got documentation, it is ready to go. At the end of the day, I don't care whether you buy it or not, because I just want to drive it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, of course I want you to get it, but I am going to take it for a drive real quick, show you what it looks like going down the road, and show you what it sounds like also. Call us 301-816-1000 and we'll tell you all about it.